Did you know that even mild cases of COVID-19 have been linked to inflammation of the heart muscle in young adults? Hi, my name is Naomi Thompkins, and I am currently a student health ambassador with the HBCU Wellness Project at Fisk University. And I'll be sharing my research on COVID-19, myocarditis, and safe return play. So let's get into some background and my research question. COVID-19 is often thought of a respiratory illness, which is true, but research shows that it can also cause inflammation of the heart muscle, known as myocarditis. This is especially concerning for college students and young adults who are physically active and those who play sports such as basketball, football, soccer, and things of that nature, because many may return to high intensity exercise too quickly without fully understanding the potential cardiac risk. So my research question was very simple. Can a brief virtual education session improve college students' knowledge and confidence about COVID-19 related heart health? I hypothesized that after the session, students would show measurable increase in both knowledge and confidence. To test this, I designed a one group pre-test and post-test design. Participants completed an anonymous survey before and after the session. Students were recruited through flyers and social media, as you can see. Here's my flyer with all my information. I also had a little hook question just to get people engaged and excited about the informational session. The session itself was delivered virtually on Zoom to maximize accessibility, especially for those who are just coming out of class or just coming to practice so they don't miss anything important. Now, for the intervention, I hosted the virtual education session, as I said, and it was led by a licensed physician in Tennessee and Washington, actually. The session covered COVID-19 effects of the heart, what myocarditis is, warning symptoms students should not ignore, and how safely returning to exercise can use a graded return play to approach. So this basically means, how do I return back to physical activity after having COVID-19? And that question is very simply answered through rest, recovery, taking COVID-19 tests to see where you are, and things of that nature. Now let's get into the results. So the results showed meaningful improvements across all measured outcomes. As you can see, knowledge of myocarditis increased by 32.1 percentage points. Recognition of safe return to play practices increased by 22 percentage points. And the strongest gap that I had was the confidence in understanding how COVID-19 can affect heart health. And this increased by 68.4 percentage points. What stood out to me most was that the increase in confidence was so big. Students just didn't learn the information. They felt more prepared to apply it to their life when making decisions about their own health. And maybe they can help their teammates or their classmates or even their friends who are recovering from COVID-19, but they know they engage in intense physical activity. Now, in conclusion, this project demonstrates that even a brief targeted virtual education session can significantly improve cardiovascular knowledge and confidence among college students. Limitations include that this was just a single session format, it was a short-term assessment, and it relied solely on self-reported data. So like when I did my pre and post test, I took their word for the answers they were putting on the form. Some limitations, some future directions that can be taken is having a long-term knowledge retention and assessing whether increased knowledge leads to actual behavior change, and also expanding this intervention to additional campuses. Here are the works cited. So some sources I used throughout my presentation. I would also like to acknowledge the Tennessee Meharry Medical College HBCU Wellness Project for its support, Mrs. Haygood, Dr. Hamad, who was my committee partner, and Mrs. Johnson. Thank you so much for your continued support. And thank you so much for the listeners for listening to me talk about my presentation. I would especially like to thank Xavier University of Louisiana for creating a space that simply amplifies student-led research and it focuses on community health. If you want to connect with me, my Gmail is on the screen, and also my LinkedIn is also on the screen. Thank you.